Good morning, and thank you for joining us today in front of the Chatham County Old Courthouse, the seat of county government, for something that we think is extremely important. And yes, it's probably massive in terms of our display, but that's just how important this is. For us, this is urgent. For us, this is critical. Joining me today are our colleagues, mayors and council members, city managers and staff from Bloomingdale. Raise your hand, Bloomingdale. Garden City, Pooler, yeah. Port Wentworth, yeah. All right. Savannah, yeah. Thunderbolt, yeah. Tybee Island, yeah. And Vernonburg. Yeah. We stand here united as 70% of Chatham County's population. This is not about the city of Savannah and Chatham County. This is about Chatham County residents in Chatham County. We stand here united as we've been throughout this negotiation process to share that despite our offer to Chatham County of a deal that would see their revenue increase by more than $100 million over 10 years, we still, on December the 8th, do not have a deal. Yesterday, Chairman Ellis and his team walked out and walked from the negotiating table, from the L.O.S.T mediation, after municipalities offered our best compromise that provided Chatham County an additional $102 million, an average of over $10 million each year for Chatham County at the expense of municipal budgets. The deal that municipalities offered included the following losses over 10 years in order to meet the county's demands, and yet, unfortunately, this was still not enough. The city of Savannah would lose $76 million. The city of Pooler would lose $13.2 million. The city of Port Wentworth would lose $5.6 million. Garden City would lose $5.3 million. The city of Bloomingdale would lose $1.4 million. The city of Thunderbolt would lose $1.3 million. And it should be noted that the deal offered by the municipalities provided an immediate increase to the county's share from 23% to 24% in year one, and sees the county's share rise to 31% by year 6 in 2028. The local option sales tax should benefit all of our taxpayers through the $1.6 billion it generates over a 10-year period. Chatham County walked away from an agreement with a difference that totaled $16.4 million, less than 1% of the total revenue, after cities were pushed to the brink of financial instability. The chairman and his team have not shown a willingness to reasonably and in good faith negotiate, and seem unfazed by the impact that his position will have on his residents, who happen to also be municipal residents and taxpayers. Chatham County, through its plots and ploys, end quote, is playing a dangerous game of chicken that threatens nearly 70% of the residents of this county with a tax increase. Enough is enough. We have been reasonable, we've been more than reasonable, and now it is their turn to treat our residents, their residents, fairly. We believe that Savannians in Windsor Forest and Carver Village, Chatham Crescent, Edgemere, Sackville, downtown, and everywhere else in between should not have to pay higher taxes for those and Wilmington Island and the Landons could pay lower taxes. We have to be very clear about what L.O.S.T is and what L.O.S.T means. L.O.S.T is for property tax stabilization, period. It is not to fill your unbudgeted gaps. And it's important for everyone to recognize that for the 32 mandated services that Chatham County provides, we already pay that in a Chatham County property tax. And if Chatham County felt that there was budget gaps, then they shouldn't have lowered the millage. But they did. And since they did, and from the chairman's own words, the county's budget was stable, so therefore, we assumed everything was okay. But L.O.S.T is not to be able to fill that gap.
That's right.
We're already paying those taxes. Our residents are already paying those taxes. L.O.S.T is not meant to be a competition between counties. It recognizes a unique relationship between each county of the state's 159 counties and the cities within. We don't compare ourselves to Fulton County. We don't compare ourselves to anybody but ourselves. Because the fact of the matter is that sales taxes generated by Chatham County, 82% of the daytime population comes from these municipalities. 94% of the convention and trade shows occur in the cities of Chatham County. 74% of the jobs occur within the municipalities of Chatham County. 84% of the service delivery responsibilities are carried out by the cities of Chatham County. And most importantly, 80% of the sales tax generation occurs in the 8 cities of Chatham County. But this county, who only generates 20% of the tax, feel that they're entitled to 31% of the money.
No.
And so for us, this is real, this is serious, and we're not going to allow the clock to run out without us having a deal. So I want to thank the Chatham County commissioners that we have reached out to, and some have reached out to us, indicating their willingness to work with us. And we need them to stand up in a show of courage and do the right thing. We need this to end now. We do not need to go another week without having this resolved. So Chatham County, we're here on a city street in your front door asking for you to do the right thing. Help us help our citizens. We stood together with you with T-Splosh. This is one Chatham right here. This is 70% of one Chatham, and we need your help. So if any mayors would like to say anything, you're more than welcome to. I know Michael Owens of the Tourism Leadership Council has some words as well, and then we will entertain any questions.
Good morning, Michael Owens, Tourism Leadership Council. I'm here for one reason. Yesterday, in a mediation, the county walked away. They walked away. Over 1% difference of a $1.6 billion agreement. A sales tax agreement that is generated on the sales of goods and services provided by the business community at our risk. They walked away not just from the municipalities, they walked away from the taxpayer. They walked away from you. It's time to come back to the table. It's time to put games aside. Showmanship and egos has no place in the unity of a community. If we are one Chatham, then we are one, and we don't walk away. The only option left to us, if we're not able to come back together and do good for ourselves and our brothers and our sisters and our neighbors, is to walk away from them at a ballot box.
That's right. Woohoo! Yeah.
We have Bill Hubbard of the Chamber of Commerce.
Michael said, follow that. From the Chamber's perspective and the businesses we represent, 2,200 of them spread throughout Chatham County and frankly surrounding counties, Agree totally with Michael. When all this began, the county proposed a 55% share for themselves. And we met with them a number of times. We saw a pretty PowerPoint slide that showed all the various county services that they provide, but never have we talked about how much those services cost now versus before. They've alluded to it, but we've never really seen the numbers. And that's how business makes decisions, is you've got to have the numbers. It's not about who wins and who loses and which room you're in. It really needs to be about the numbers and who needs what under what circumstances. The digest alone is up 17% this year. Where does that money go? Sales tax now, 10 years ago it was about 2.5 million a month. Right now it's cresting through 10 million a month. There's lots of money out there. We are one of the most fortunate communities in the state, and we can't have a conversation that nets us a solution quickly enough to create stability. It's very frustrating from the business point of view. We certainly agree that you can't walk out of a room and you can't quit talking about it, particularly when the clock is ticking and it's the end of December is the only opportunity you have to do this. So we certainly support sitting down together. I think the burden is on the county to prove why they need more money. This has worked well for 10 years, and changing this overnight is extremely difficult for everybody, and the pressure will be on the municipalities, and that's where all of us work, and that's where most of us live.
And to the argument, how many of you have your costs gone down to operate? Any municipality? All of our costs have gone up. But you know what we do? We budget appropriately. We budget appropriately. And so today the Savannah City Council is poised to approve our budget, but the city manager has another budget should this fail. And it is not pretty, and for us, it's about public safety. It's about keeping our community safe. It is about providing the services that we provide locally and for the entire county. And we cannot let this fail. We cannot let this fail. We cannot let this fail. To members of the Honorable Chatham County Commission, we need you, duly elected officials, to stand up and take a stand to do what's right. Our residents are your residents as well. And so therefore, don't put yourselves in a position where your silence is hurting your constituents. Any mayors like to say anything? I definitely want to thank particularly Robbie Bird and Jay Melder. Y'all wave your hands up. They have served with me on a negotiation team, and they have burned the midnight oil. Bates love it as well. Again, trying to find ways to be able to make this work. Trying to find ways to make this work. And the fact is, everything we volley gets thrown back. And that's just not the way we as neighbors, we as friends, we as partners should do business. So ladies and gentlemen, particularly members of councils of our 8 municipalities, thank you for coming out and sharing on such a quick notice. But our message today is united. We need L.O.S.T. We need to come to an agreement, and we need to do it now. Do we agree?
Yes. Yes.
Do we agree?
Yes.
Do we agree?
Yes.
So we're entertaining any questions you may have at this time. Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Johnson, so what's next? I mean, how do you want the county to come to the table? Like, when do we have a time? Like, talk me through
Today, now, right now, come outside, we'll talk. You know, the fact of the matter was, this is the second time. I've been at a mediation table, and then the county says, take it, leave it, and walk out the room. That's not how you mediate. And the reality, again, the statistics are very, very clear. The cities generate the majority of the property tax, of the sales tax. And therefore, we also have the small businesses that would be affected. The fact of the matter is, we only raise revenue, or we cut services, or we raise taxes. And for us, that affects people. This is not a plot, or this is not a ploy to us. This is not a game to us. This is real people. These are real citizens whose lives could be affected for the city of Savannah literally from December 31st to January 1st in a significant way with no time to prepare. What we have asked the county to do is, we understand, we'll play nice, we'll work with you, but your fire fee is not our business.
That's right.
You have to balance your own budget to deal with your fire fee, but we have issues countywide, such as 911, which the city of Savannah gave $1 million toward. You know, EMS, all of those things, we have issues that we have to work on jointly. And the fact is, we need the funds to be able to take care of that. So, you know, our phones are on. We're ready to talk. But I think at some point, you get to the point where it becomes really counterintuitive and becomes hurtful to cities. And so if you think about any of you that your taxes raise overnight, therefore your rent raises overnight, your businesses go up overnight, that's not a good thing. So we've asked the county to we'll help you get to where you need to be, but let's not do it drastically. Let's give it 2 years so we can go ahead and formulate our budgets and work it into that. And what we have gotten is really a hard, very ugly no, which is not fair, and it certainly doesn't reflect good public administration or public budgeting.
So this loss has been in discussion for a while. We all have been going back and forth with negotiations, mediations. Come December 31st, do you all think as any municipality—
December 30th, really.
Okay, December 30th. If there's no concrete plan in place, where would you all go from there?
Then Chatham County would have suffered the most colossal failure in our history, as far as I'm concerned. That we failed to be able to protect our citizens, and everybody loses. We're not playing to win. We're playing not to lose. We're playing so that nobody loses. And the fact of the matter is that every percentage point you go, that comes from one of these 8 municipalities. I think it will be a tragedy if it gets to December 30th. And I'm hoping that members of the county commission will use their ability to be able to force a vote on something that makes sense.
Yeah. Make it make sense.
You said that some county commissioners themselves have kind of reached out to you. Is that a majority of the county commissioners, or just a few? Can you elaborate on that?
Well, for me, not formally. It's been very informally. We were familiar with a position that was proffered by 2 commissioners, I believe Commissioner Dean Kicklighter and Commissioner A. Whiteley. That made sense. I mean, it got the county to 31%, but it also gave the cities 2 years to prepare for it and then incrementally move up. I mean, to me, it makes sense because it does get the county to where they need to be eventually, but it also allows us time to be able to prepare. I mean, those are the types of cooperative, collaborative relationships that we're looking for. We're looking for opportunities that recognize our need to make sure that we are not adversely impacting our budgets, because our budgets impact people. So, I mean, we're looking forward to those types of things. We're not looking forward to no, take it or leave it, we're walking out the door. That's not the way you do business. And again, I want to relay, this is not just the city of Savannah. Obviously, I just have the biggest mouth, which is why you probably hear me talking the most, but this is all 8 municipalities of this county. We're together, we've stood together. We stand with Tybee Island for beach renourishment, because that's important to Tybee Island, but it's important to all of us. We stood with Pula for expanding their roads, because we recognize that it's an issue for us. Again, what affects one of us affects all of us, all of us. And so we have stuck together from day one. We are still together. And I just think that when you're talking about the majority of your county, this is 70% of it right here.
Now, remind us of the number breakdown that was finally on the table before the walkout yesterday.
Jay?
Yes, the last offer that the municipalities gave the county was essentially a version of an escalation that gets the county to 31 after year 5. It starts at 24%, then 26%, 28%, 30%, and then 31% for the last half of the agreement. That represents $102 million in additional tax revenue for the county. It is an incredible windfall for the county. It absolutely covers their costs for the new courthouse, hopefully to be able to expand jail services, hopefully to be able to fix 911 services so that people call 911, they get an answer, and when they do get an answer, they have an ambulance who can come and take care of the event. So we're invested in the county's success here, and I speak on behalf of all managers who have to do this day to day. We're invested in their success because people don't experience their lives in the way that we've divided government, and we know that, and we need to be seamless, and we need to be partners. We think it is an incredibly fair deal, and we are ready for this agreement to be done, and we're ready to move forward with a partnership that's going to work for the next 10 years, just like we had for the last 10 years.
Go Jay! Woohoo! Yeah.
Believe me, we do not like doing this. Everybody's busy. Everybody got stuff to do. But the reality is we are literally fighting for our lives. We're fighting for the lives that we affect every single day. And so I'm just so grateful to all of these very busy public servants who felt it was not robbery to take the time to come out and be able to show a unified front as it relates to our position with Chatham County. We're asking our residents to call your county commissioner and tell them to be reasonable with L.O.S.T. We do not want to be lost with L.O.S.T. And we're asking for our entire community to be able to stand together and certainly create a situation where we all win, no one loses, and we're able to serve as we serve. Again, we pay for the 32 services already in a county tax that we don't question. The county sets the millage rate and we pay it, whatever that is. And so you can't talk about having higher costs when the reality is that you reduce your millage by 1 and you were trying to reduce it by 2. I mean, we do this stuff every day. So any other questions? All right, well, thank you again for coming out on such late notice. Again, thank you, mayors, thank you, members of council, thank you, managers, thank you, Bill, thank you, Michael, for coming out, our law enforcement and public safety professionals. This is what Chatham County looks like. This is what Chatham County looks like. And we're asking, we're begging, we are pleading with our county government to please don't cut us across the throat. Help us to serve your residents. God bless you all. Have a great day. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get the street opened.
Yeah.